The Outfit was directed by Graham Moore and stars Mark Rylance and Zoe Deutch, and I'm very excited to give you guys my review for this movie. If you've seen it, be sure to leave a comment of what you thought about it. As well, be sure to like this video and subscribe to my channel. Now let's get into this review. In this movie, an expert cutter must outwit a dangerous group of mobsters in order to survive a fateful night. So I'd heard a bit about this movie, but I didn't know a whole lot about the plot, so I went into this not knowing a whole lot, and I'm glad I did, because I really enjoyed this movie. It was a pleasant surprise, actually. I enjoyed it a lot more than I was expecting to. The performances were fantastic, especially from Mark Rylance. I enjoy him in everything I've seen, and I thought he was fantastic in this. And one thing that I really appreciate about this movie is it's a movie where it takes place in one location. I find you don't get a whole lot of movies that do that, and I think it's tough for people to make a really good movie when it's set in one location, especially in a building or in a room. I think that makes it harder to make things interesting, because it's sometimes more relying on the dialogue and the performances to keep people engaged. A movie like that always comes to mind is 12 Angry Men. It's a fantastic movie if you haven't seen it. But this one pretty much takes place just in this one store, and it's got great performances and a really good plot, actually. It's not a complex plot, but it works very well for this movie, and I really enjoyed it. And I really enjoyed the main character played by Mark Rylance. He was very clever in what he was doing, and there were some twists and turns, and some of the twists you could sort of see coming, but they were executed well, and you can understand a person's motivation for it, which was good, so that made it alright for me. But the main character had a really good way of manipulating the narrative of what was going on in the movie. Like, there's a situation happens, and if one person finds out, he's probably gonna get killed, or other people he cares about is gonna get killed, and he's really good at sort of manipulating different people into protecting himself and the person he cares about. That was great. And there are other things in this movie that I thought were quite clever. Like, at the beginning of this movie, there's a lot of monologuing of Mark Rylance's character just talking about what he does with cutting and making jackets or suits for people. There's a lot of that, and some of that going on through the middle portion as well, and it's sort of like, okay, not quite sure what we're doing all this. I guess giving some background on the character, but then at the end, you understand what that actually was, and I didn't see that twist coming. I thought it was very clever. So that was cool. I like it when movies are able to do that, where it's like, this is okay, and then something means something different later on. I always like it when they do that, so that was really cool. I think for me, the biggest issue I had was the first 20 minutes were a little slow. It was just, I guess, getting introduced to the characters, a lot of that monologuing, not a whole lot going on. You sort of get this idea of the world within this movie that you get. They're in Chicago. There's a little store that the main character owns where he's a cutter making suits, and I guess a mob gang can drop off notes or messages to other people in a little box in his store. So you get that, and then around 20 minutes in, roughly, that's when things start to pick up, when one of the mob characters gets shot, and then from there things escalate. The performances were great, and it builds a lot of tension because the character who got shot is like the head mob boss's son. So you got that. He ends up dying due to things that go on in the store, and it has a lot of tension, and it was great. And that's when you really get Mark Rylance's character starting to manipulate narratives or turn people against each other. I thought it was really cool to watch. So overall, for me, I thought this was a great movie. First 20 minutes were a little slow, but after that really picked up. The performances were excellent. There's a lot of tension. I love the way the character was able to manipulate the narrative of what was going on. And it was just an overall pretty clever plot, I thought, with some of the twists and turns it was able to do. And I thought it had a fairly satisfying ending. I enjoyed watching the characters. All the performances were great. So I'm glad I checked this one out. Kind of went under my radar a bit. I just saw it on one of my streaming services and wanted to check it out. So if you guys haven't checked out this movie, I definitely recommend you check it out. For me, I would give the outfit an 85%. So those are my thoughts on this movie. If you guys have seen the outfit, let me know what you thought about it. As well, be sure to like this video and subscribe to my channel. And be sure to stay tuned for some more videos coming soon. And until my next video, take care everybody.